Welcome back, boys and girls. This is Miss Redmond again, and we are here for another lesson on drawing conclusions, and we are also adding making inferences. Let's get started. Our I can statement is I can draw conclusions about a story using details in my background knowledge. Now, before we begin, let's do a very quick review of our fiction characteristics. Below, I have listed all of the characteristics of a fiction story. The story will have characters, which are the people or animals who are important to the story, the setting, which is where the story takes place, the problem, which is an issue or conflict that the characters are facing, and then the solution is how the characters solve that problem. Now here's a quick review of the skill. When you draw conclusions, you use clues that are found when reading words and looking at illustrations, which are the pictures or drawings in the text. You use these clues with background knowledge, what you already know in real life, to help you figure out something that is not written in a story. Now, let's dig a little deeper. To draw conclusions, what we are doing is something called making an inference, or we infer. When we infer, we are putting pieces together. In other words, you are figuring out something about the text that the author did not tell you. And to make an inference, or draw a conclusion, you simply use the information from the text in your background knowledge to draw the conclusion. So I'll say that again. To make an inference, you are using the information from the text and your background knowledge to draw a conclusion. Now, let's watch part of this video for better understanding.
You wrote a story? I looked around the packed theater. My knees were shaking and my heart was pounding in my chest. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I pretended I was alone and played my violin. Great job, Moby. I really understood how nervous you were, even though you didn't say you were nervous. I made an inference. What is an inference? When you infer, you use clues and what you already know to come up with an idea. I've heard that sound before. It's thunder. Everyone's wearing rain boots and jackets and holding umbrellas, so I can make an inference that it's raining. I don't really know for sure that it's raining because I'm not outside, but the thunder and the rain gear are clues, so I can be pretty sure it is raining. How can I make inferences when I read fiction? Let's see. In this book, the tortoise and the hare have a race. The hare makes fun of the tortoise and says she's really slow. Instead of preparing for the race like the tortoise, the hare just talks about how great he is. During the race, the hare is so sure he'll win, he thinks he has time for a nap. And the tortoise wins the race. The way characters act can tell you about how they think or feel. The hare makes fun of the tortoise, brags a lot, and then falls asleep during the race. These clues tell me that the hare is kind of stuck up and thinks he'll win the race. The tortoise gets ready for the race, ignores the hare, and goes as fast as she can. These clues tell me that the tortoise is really determined. Authors use clues and details so they don't have to write everything in exact words, and figuring out how the characters feel can be exciting. But I can make inferences in all kinds of writing, not just fiction.
All right, so we are back to using our graphic organizers, the same as yesterday. So again, I would like for you guys to take a sheet of paper or 2 sheets of paper, and you're going to draw this graphic organizer 2 times. So once on one side and the second time on the other side of the sheet of paper. And feel free to pause so that you can take the time to get this drawn down. All right. Here's our passage for today. It is called The Mysterious Key. I'm going to read out loud and you guys can follow along. One bright sunny day, 2 sisters were sitting at the table eating sandwiches together when something shiny caught their eye. It was an old, rusty silver key. They rushed over and snatched it up with curious looks on their faces. They knew they had to find out what this mysterious key would open. So they searched the house from top to bottom, under beds, inside all the cupboards, and even outside in the shed. That's when they saw the ancient wooden chest. That had to be it. They ran over, eager to reveal the contents within. They pushed the key into the lock and opened it up. Inside was a worn, tattered map. It read, "Bring a shovel and follow the trail. X marks the spot." The children looked at each other in excitement. A treasure map. Question number 1 says, at what time of day do you think this story took place? Now, just a reminder, we are drawing conclusions, and when we draw conclusions, we are going to be using the skill where we infer or make an inference. And how we make an inference is by looking at the text information and using our background knowledge to draw that conclusion. So for now, you will keep the graphic organizers that you drew, keep it to the side, and you will watch how I draw conclusions here. So the question is, at what time of day do you think this story took place? So here I have my graphic organizer and my question below so that I can remember. So based on the text, the information that they gave me was, there was a bright sunny day, and we do know that the sisters were eating sandwiches. Now, when I think about what I already know, I know that sandwiches are usually eaten during lunch hours. So with that, I can infer that the time of day is noon. Now, question number 2, this is where you guys will bring your graphic organizer in front of you. You'll use one side of it. So question number 2 says, how did the children feel when they found the key? Now here you will be making note of the information that the text gave you, and then you will think about what you already know so that you can draw a conclusion. Feel free to pause so that you can work that out, and then you will be able to continue to see or to compare your answer. So we're going to continue. I have my graphic organizer here, and my question was, how did the children feel when they found the key? Well, the clues in the text were, they instantly searched everywhere in the house to find out what the key would open. So this makes me think of how movie characters react when they find an old key. And I know that old keys usually unlock something special. So I can infer that the children felt very curious. All right, question number 3. Feel free to pause so that you can fill out your graphic organizer to answer this question. The question is, where do you think the treasure will be? Here I have my graphic organizer and my question. Now, where do you think the treasure will be? Well, when I think about the text information, I know that the map or the text tells me that the map told the children to bring a shovel. We can say that the setting is at a home or their home. And the text also says that they found the chest in a shed. Now, when I think about what I already know, of course, shovels are used for digging into the ground. Treasure chests are usually hidden underground. And sheds are always in a backyard. And being that the chest was in the shed, I can infer the treasure will be in there. All right, boys and girls, so that concludes our lesson for today. I do want to thank you for watching, and you will see me on tomorrow for another lesson.